Alrighty, boys. If you don't have Rin, you don't have Matoi, you don't have Akechi, well, don't worry. This guide is just for you. And without further ado, let's get straight into the video, y'all. Ikaze. Hey, boys. So let's go ahead and show you the rev cards and the mindscapes for this team, starting with On. On is going to be our main DPS here. We're going to be going ahead and running her with the Fire DPS set, Acceptance and Strife. Here is her mindscape. Now let's talk about our secondary DPS, being A1 Twins. A1 Twins, we're going to be running the Freedom Disappointment set. That's the signature Twins DPS set. If you are lacking on Defense Shred, you can always put Departure Control, or you can just run the good old Trustworthy, Negativity, and Power. Here is their mindscape. Now, we're going to go ahead and talk about our main sustain, that being Asmoko. Asmoko, you can run Trust and Prosperity or the Creation Reconciliation set. For my highlight timing, I decided to run Trust and Prosperity on her. Here is her mindscape. And lastly, let's go ahead and talk about our main navigator, being Futaba Sakura. You're going to be running the usual Resolve and Labor set on her, the Navi set. Here is her mindscape. And let's go ahead and talk about Wonder. So for Wonder Dagger, you have a couple of options. You can run Ex Machina with, of course, a starter line Fire Persona. But what I really recommend is either R6 Purgatory or R6 Starry Compass. Mainly a R6 Starry Compass, so that you can get the boss's defense values as low as you possibly can. As we know, getting boss defense values to 0 is the way you get damage in this game. So I will be running R6 Starry Compass. Now for Wonder's Personas, you do have a couple of options. Of course, I'm going to be running Dionysus here, because my On is definitely not capped out on crit rate. So we're going to be using Rebellion. If your On does somehow hit the crit rate cap, you can always just run Cert instead for his AoE defense shred. Next is Throne. Throne, we're going to be using Purifying Flames to amp up On's damage. And Baphomet is going to be applying Burn as well, and boosting On's damage likewise to Throne. And without further ado, boys, let's get straight into the run. Ikaze. Oh, and by the way, if you do not have Asmoko, you can always replace Asmoko with Minami with the Trust Prosperity set. Here is her mindscape. Alrighty, boys, so let's go ahead and get started with this fight. So here, with Asmoko, you're going to go ahead and apply S2 onto On. This should boost her attack and give her better burn accuracy. I do want to give a heads up for Wonder. If you want a consistent highlight rotation, do follow my actual normal Persona rotations here. So let's go ahead and use Baphomet's Red Hot here. This should increase the damage taken. Twins are going to go ahead and auto cast skill 3. Seisai no Jikanda. We're going to go ahead and apply the team-wide attack buff using skill 1 with Twins. On does get access to Levian Rose here. So we're going to go ahead and skill 3 with Levian Rose for some big PP damage. Moko follow-up. Going to do a little bit of healing. And if you are A0, you won't get these follow-ups, but if you're A2+, expect an increase in damage, since you do get those extra On follow-ups and whatnot. And now we wait a few business days for these Vishnus to finish attacking. Holy. Okay, Futaba's here, so let's go ahead and apply the defense shred with skill 1. And we're not going to go ahead and highlight yet. We're just going to go ahead and do Asmoko skill 3 for some bonus chip damage. And now, we're going to go ahead and use On's highlight, further improving On's damage. Wonder is also going to be buffing in a sec. We're going to go ahead and change to Dionysus. We're going to choose On here. She does need that crit rate, since mine is definitely not capped. Twin's going to go ahead and do skill 2. And this should allow us to auto-cast skill 3 for another big AoE attack. Seisai no Jikanda, my beloved. On is going to go ahead and apply the attack buff using skill 1. And then once we do that, we should have Levian Rose skill 3 timed up with Futaba weakness implant for some big PP damage. Finally, I got to play the game again. Okay. So here, we're going to go ahead and proc S3 onto On, so that it becomes a fire weakness implant. S-Moko is going to go ahead and skill 2 onto On, reapplying the attack boost and the burn accuracy for On. We're going to go ahead and Purifying Flames. Make sure you do target On here, so that she is getting the damage amp from Throne. We're going to go ahead and reapply the party-wide attack buff damage boost with Twins S1. Here, we're going to go ahead and use Wonder's Throne highlight, the Strategist highlight, to boost our party-wide damage. On is going to go ahead and use Levian Rose skill 3. And then we're also going to get S-Moko follow-up along with On's own follow-ups. Very good damage here. And now we wait a few business days again. I swear. Alright, finally, I get to play the game. So S-Moko, we're going to go ahead and skill 3 here onto the Vishnus for some chip damage, of course. Wonder is going to go ahead and reset his rotation. Let's go ahead and use Red Hot with Baphomet, giving us a bonus damage increase. S-Moko with the follow-up. And now Twins, go ahead and do skill 2 so that they auto-cast their skill 3 for another big AoE. Seisai no Jikanda, my beloved. On is going to go ahead and skill 3 yet again, because we still have skill 1's attack boost duration up. Okay, Futaba's here, so let's go ahead and reapply her defense shred for the last time onto the Vishnus. S-Moko is going to go ahead and skill 2 onto On, reapplying the attack boost and the element accuracy. Now, we can finally use the Twin Strategist highlight. This should boost our attack and our party-wide damage. Wonder is going to go ahead and change to Dionysus. We're going to go ahead and Rebellion onto On, reapplying the crit rate itself. Twins going to go ahead and proc their skill 1. We're going to go ahead and get the party-wide attack increase from that. And On is going to go ahead and Levian Rose with skill 3 here. And like I said, the only bad part about this Persona rotation with Wonder is that it won't allow On to do Levian Rose S3 on the final turn. But you get a more consistent highlight rotation, like I said. And now we wait 3 business days. Again. Okay. And Futaba for the last time. We're going to go ahead and proc S3. Make sure you target On, of course. It's going to be a fire weakness implant. S-Moko is going to go ahead and do her skill 3 for some chip damage. And Wonder is going to lastly use Purifying Flames, target On, as per usual. Twins, it's time to auto cast skill 3. So go ahead and skill 2 here onto a Vishnu. Yet another follow-up from S-Moko. Seisai no Jikan time, my beloved. And to end it off, we're going to go ahead and use On highlight, boosting her own damage. S-Moko with some more chip damage. And to end it off, On skill 3. And there you go, boys. GG's. Alrighty, boys. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you enjoyed, maybe leave a sub and a like. We are on the road to 600 subscribers on YouTube. And if you do have any questions, leave it down in the comments below, and I'll get to you as soon as I possibly can. Do look forward to some Astrolab, some SOS, some guild bossing guides, maybe down the week. I also have a couple of other video essays I want to make, because man, did y'all really enjoy the why you should play P5X video? So I've been inspired, y'all. But until next time, y'all, deuces.